Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back once again to the United Regional Chamber's weekly update. We try to bring you on some interesting guests and some subjects that are pertinent to today. And one of the big things that we were all running into over the past year or so, and it's becoming more and more prevalent, is hackers and spam. So today it's my pleasure to bring on Mr. Peter Kokinda. He is the founder of LAN Connect Systems. And we're going to talk a little bit about cybersecurity because it is so very important right now. So welcome, Peter Kokinda.
Thank you, Jack. I'm happy to be here.
All right. First off, tell us a little bit about Peter.
So my name is Peter Kokinda. I am the founder and CEO of LAN Connect Systems. We're located in Franklin, Massachusetts, and we've been in business for a little over 20 years. We help small businesses and individuals help secure their computers, support their computers, and everything in between.
And how about Peter personally?
Peter personally, I live in Norfolk, Mass, with my wife, Christina, and we recently just moved there over the summer.
Oh, good for you. Congratulations. All right, so let's jump into this. For business owners and for personal folks, what types of online cyber threats are we looking at today?
So there's a myriad of threats out there. The most prevalent ones that we're seeing with small businesses, individuals on their home computers are primarily broken up into 5 categories. So the first one is just straight out malware. Malware is an application. It's a piece of code that an attacker or a nefarious individual has written to either take over the computer or gather information on what's happening on the computer. It could be a keylogger. It could be even on a mobile phone. It could be something that is trying to steal the video off the mobile phone, stealing pictures. So it's always designed to do some sort of criminal action. And so that's typically number one. That's what we're seeing on computers nowadays. That's affecting individuals. And number 2 would be phishing. So phishing is a form of social engineering that an attacker will send an email out to an individual. That can be through your corporate email or your personal email, and it's going to try to get you to click on a link or visit a website or do something from that email that is going to potentially infect the computer with malware. So we've all seen them. It could be a Bank of America email or even a Dropbox email or a UPS shipment notification. It looks so real, and it's very enticing to try to click on it. We recommend do not click on any of those. If you get a notification that your password is expiring from your bank, we recommend you log into the bank right from a browser. Don't click on the link, because a lot of these phishing attacks are designed to create some urgency and get you to click on that link now, and that's part of their scam. Yeah. And once you've entered that data on the website, so you would click on that link, you'd go to a fake website, not the real website, and you would try to enter your password. But in the meantime, that password and other information that you're entering is being put into a database that the hacker will use against you in the future. So phishing is a big thing that we're seeing pretty much across the board right now. Third would be ransomware. So ransomware is when you have a piece of malware that downloads a second piece of software on your computer behind the scenes. You don't know what's happening. And then what it's going to do is it's going to encrypt all of your personal files and sometimes your entire computer. It's going to encrypt those files and make it so that you can't use any of the files on your computer. So any of your pictures, your Word docs, your resume, your business files, your QuickBooks, whatever it is, you're now locked out of them. And that ransomware is designed to get you to pay a ransom, so money. So they want money in return to unlocking those files. And a lot of the ransomware attackers nowadays are run just like regular businesses. They have helplines, they have support lines. They want to ensure that your business will pay the money. And if they find, if word gets out that they're not helping you, they won't, no one will pay the money anymore. So they want to make sure that the value is there and that you're going to pay the money and you're going to decrypt your files. So yeah, there's certain ways you can can mitigate some of that risk, but ransomware is one of the biggest things. And then number 4 would be vulnerabilities. So vulnerabilities exist on hardware. It exists in your computer, so Windows. So vulnerabilities are holes in your systems, your software, and your systems operating systems that that can be exploited by hackers. And we're seeing that be the root of a lot of online issues right now. And that for your home computer, that's patching your Windows, making sure your mobile phone is up to date, ensuring that you have the latest patches on all of your critical software at your business. And then lastly, we have so you have malicious websites. So if you're going to a website and that website is encrypted, infected, that you could effectively see a piece of malware downloaded and installed on your computer just by simply going to that website. It could be simple as a bad image that is placed by an ad on the site, that we call that a drive-by download, or you could be visiting what you think is a valid, good website, but that website has malicious code in it. So when you load and cruise around the website, clicking around, looking at things, you are actually putting yourself at risk and downloading malware. Those are really the top 5 of what we're seeing on a daily basis, both on personal computers as well as business computers.
And for somebody like me who's a little computer challenged, that would intimidate the life out of me. Let's step back just a little bit. What typically happens in a ransomware attack?
So it's a great question. So with ransomware, normally it's a pretty stepped out plan, and it's well thought out, well planned by the attacker, and it's not just as simple as let's download something and encrypt the files. What happens a lot of times is those files are installed via malware on an individual's computer, and they sit dormant. And what the next step is, they go in and they download additional software. So that piece of malware goes out, reaches out to the internet, to the attacker's home, and will download additional software. And one of those pieces of software that it can install is ransomware. And ransomware, again, is the ability for the attacker to download and encrypt all of your data so that you can't use it anymore. The third thing that they will do is then, before they encrypt anything, what they're going to do is they're going to look around your network. They're going to check out your files, see what you do. They're going to try to gather information about you to ensure that they're able to produce the best outcome for them, which is money. So what we're talking about is they're going to try to gather information about your network. Are there additional computers that they could spread the malware to and encrypt additional systems before they encrypt yours? Because once they start to encrypt it, you will know. And that's number 4 is once they have started encrypting, you're now not able to log into your computer. You're not able to open up those pictures, open up those Word docs, and use the files on your computer. And then lastly, you are going to get a ransomware note. It's a demand for money. Sometimes it's $1,000. Sometimes it's $50,000 for larger businesses. If they know the data is valuable, because again, they've looked at some of your data, they know what kind of data you have, they're going to ask for more money.
Well, if somebody were to be attacked that way, what options do a business or an individual have if they've been attacked with ransomware?
Yeah, no, great question. So the 3 options are really simple. You can pay the ransom. Usually not recommended, because you're putting back into their system. You're encouraging them to do more. But sometimes you have no choice. Those are your pictures. You don't have a backup. There's nothing you can do. Those are your Word files. Those are the documents you need to run your business. There's absolutely nothing you can do. You got to pay the ransom. Again, they'll help you out. They will provide you with a support line, whether it be via email or phone. And sometimes that's the only option. Really, our preferred option would be to ensure that you always have a great backup. You test that backup. You ensure that all of your files are included in the backup, and the backup is located in multiple places. And the backup itself is also password protected, and it's encrypted. And just copying the files onto a USB drive is great, but that's not really a backup. You need an online backup. You need it stored in a third location. And that really is the second thing you can do. And the third thing you do is do nothing, or you can just ignore the fact that it happened. And, you don't need the files. Maybe there were some old pictures. Maybe you have the files somewhere else. So really, those are the three options. That gets a little bit more complicated when we start to talk about ransomware variants. And ransomware variants are basically different ploys that attackers will try to make on you to get you to pay more, or get you to pay even if you have a backup. One instance of that is what we call extortionware, where not only do they want you to pay money to decrypt your files, but they also will demand money from you to say, hey, we have your files. We have your files located off-site. If you don't pay us again or an additional fee, we're going to share that data with your clients, with your employees, with your friends, with your family, and we're going to make all that information public. And, that becomes scary in its own way.
Well, that's like paying protection to the mob.
Yeah, it's pretty sad that that there's these type of people out there in the world, but it's more prevalent than you think.
Well, one of the other subjects I've heard about is social engineering. Tell us a little, what is that and how prevalent is that today? And is there something that, individuals and business can do to protect themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. You hear of social engineering, and it used to be big, 10, 15 years ago. Everybody talked about it because that was like the gateway to get into information regarding the business and how can I attack them. It's still here. It just comes in different forms. The first one I talked about it already, phishing. So phishing is a form of social engineering. Okay. So you have people that are going to send you an email that looks, again, like it's coming from your bank or Dropbox or UPS. But you also have people that are sending you emails that look totally legitimate. If you're working in a business and you are maybe the business owner, you'll get a spoofed email from Karen in accounting that says, hey, I got this email to update your bank account information. Should I do that? And you're thinking to yourself, no, I didn't send that. And then they forward you the email over, and it looks just like it came from you. And they sent an email to Karen pretending that it was you, asking to change your direct deposit information for your payroll. Those are all forms of social engineering. You have, there's a variety of different social media hoaxes. There's text hoaxes. There's, it is very prevalent, and you have also the telephone. So businesses can receive calls and ask, well, who does your accounts payable? Who handles your IT, in the hopes that they're going to gain some information that they can use to further their attack or send targeted phishing attacks, or what we call spear phishing, where they're going to send targeted phishing attacks at the CFO at a company, or if they know that you are on a board in an organization, and they're going to try to use that information to gain access to your machines and deliver malicious software.
Wow, if these folks would use their brain for good, the world would be in such better shape.
Absolutely would.
Now, you have an event coming up up there in Franklin for small businesses, and I guess for individuals that'd like to come. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to cover in that event.
Yeah, so February 13th, we're hosting an event at the 3 Restaurant in Franklin, where we're having a couple of speakers to highlight different ways of things that you can do now to protect your systems. And we have an individual from WatchGuard, who is one of the world's leading manufacturers of firewalls and threat intelligence. And they are going to speak about the trends that they saw in 2023 for additional things that small businesses and individuals are getting attacked, as well as what's coming in 2024. And then myself and Todd, my service manager, will talk about the specific ways that you can protect your systems and what you can do to protect your business tomorrow. And every person that attends the conference will receive a 16-page hardcover paper of the actual steps of things that you can do. It's not salesy. It's not literature. It's a manual on what you can do, whether it be you're a business or you're an individual, on how to protect your systems. And the cost for the event is free. We're providing lunch, and we'd love to see everybody there.
Well, we've promoted it, through our social media and on our website, which we will continue to do because it is up on February 13th. But as we get close to close, from a technology perspective, give us one piece of advice that you would have for individuals and small businesses right now.
100%, 100%. No doubt. The best thing that you can do is multi-factor authentication. And what that is you have your password. You might know your password, but hackers might know your password as well. And if that's all that protects access to your bank account or your email, that's not enough these days. You 100% have to have multi-factor authentication, where you go to log into that bank account or your email, and you present the password. And the next step before it lets you in is it asks you for a text or a PIN from an app on your phone. And that's what we call that second piece of authentication, or multi-factor authentication. If you do that on everything, that is the best thing that you can do to protect yourself online these days, because that's going to help keep people out of all of your accounts. 100%, that's the best thing you can do tomorrow.
Well, awesome. Peter Kokinda from LAN Connect Systems. Thanks for taking the time to be with us today. We've flashed your information on the bottom of the screen for folks who have any additional questions. You're super if somebody calls. You always answer people's questions. And hopefully we will see you on February 13th.
Great. Well, thank you, Jack. My pleasure.
Okay. Folks, once again, thanks for joining us at the United Regional Chambers Weekly Update. Big shout out to James Friedman and the team over there at AACS for putting up with me every week. And we'll see you next week. Be safe.